Hey, H&W Podcast here, and let's say you've just gotten your new set of devil sticks in the mail, and you're all excited about using them. Now hopefully you've chosen them based on my video over here, but even so, if you haven't, that's fine. But you've seen all of our videos up on YouTube, all the different people devil stick, and you're like, cool, now I want to be able to do that. And you find that it's really, really difficult. And believe me, we've all been in that place. So I'm uploading this video now to help you, anyone that's just begun devil sticking, to learn the steps that I took in order to learn how to get above the ground with their devil sticks. Every devil sticker, whenever they learn, has to start with the same place, the floor. And I know how frustrating this can be, having to simply not be able to take your devil stick above the ground. Sometimes it's days before you're even able to go into a normal idle. But believe me, it's this part when you're learning how to control the devil stick that's most important. It's like being able to get your first 3-ball. It's going to be satisfying once you're able to do it, but a lot of work once you start. So let me start by showing you what you have to do. You take your devil stick or flower stick, whatever stick you're learning with, and you lay one end on the ground, and you'll flip it while hitting only the top part of the stick, back and forth. It can be as fast or slow as you want, preferably slower in order to keep your control over the stick. But you're going to keep that going back and forth between the two hand sticks, making sure you're hitting mainly the top of the stick, not near the center, and trying to keep it as even and as parallel with your body as possible. You don't want it going forward and backwards and losing control like that. And you're going to want to repeat this several times, 50, 100, 150 times, before you move on to step 2. Because this part is learning how to control the devil stick, keeping it parallel to you, so when you get above the ground, it's not hitting all into your body and causing your body to hurt you when you're starting to learn the devil stick. So be sure to continue going back and forth, hitting only the top, holding your devil stick hand sticks only near the bottom to give you the most length, and continuing to go back and forth, like I said, hundreds of times, just so you can learn how to control it. That's frustrating, I know, but this is definitely going to help you as you go on to the next steps. Step 2 is very similar to the first step, going back and forth, only doing the top. And it's somewhat different than what other people have taught, but this is one that I learned how to do the best. And rather than staying only on the top, you're going to take it from your left or right hand stick, flip it to the other one, and use the hand stick that no longer is holding the devil stick to tap the bottom of the devil stick. And what you're going to find is that you're going to need to keep switching your hand stick like this as you're passing it back and forth. Remember, go slowly. Try to avoid going really, really fast and losing control. There'll be times when you can go fast when you're in the air, but now is not the time. You're going to want to go as slow and controlled as possible, flipping your devil sticks, and being sure to keep the hand sticks one at the top, one at the bottom, going back and forth, mimicking the same idle that you've always seen me do above the ground, except only keeping one half of the devil stick on the ground. And if you've practiced doing your top only a couple of times, your pendulum sometimes it's called, going to the next step, step 2, we're going into a floor idle, you'll find will be quite easy. And finally, step 3, which is really pretty much our last step going into this, is continue going what you were doing in step 2, flipping your hand sticks, making one up and one down, except instead now, your top hand stick, the one that's near the top, the one that's not touching the ground, is going to let the devil stick go into the air, and then be brought down by the left hand stick, or by the other hand stick, so that you're bringing it up and down, kind of like it's bouncing on the ground. The only thing that's different between this is you're giving it a little bit more pressure for pushing up with your right or left hand stick, with the one that's on the top, and a little bit more pressure to push it back towards the ground. You're going to want to make sure that you can get it a couple of inches above the ground, and continue practicing this one. This one is very important. Using more pressure than you're doing, and getting it a little bit above the ground with each time that you're doing it. And you'll find, once you've practiced this, once again 100, 150, 200 times, it'll become quite easy for you, almost quite dull. But once you've practiced it that many times, you'll find it quite easy, and you'll be able to take it above the ground, doing the same movements that you were doing before, except now you're only in the air. you're idling. And now, you've begun your step towards becoming the devil sticker. So let's do a quick review over how you're going to be able to get above the ground with your devil stick. You're going to start with step 1, going into a pendulum or top-only idle, except the bottom part of your devil stick is left sitting on the floor. Step 2 is flipping your hand sticks, putting one at the bottom, letting it tap the bottom as you switch. You're switching the hand sticks and allowing them to tap, and going slowly, keeping control of it. And then finally, step 3, pushing upwards with a little bit of pressure with the top hand stick to allow it to get into the air, and then bringing it back down to the ground, like someone trying to take flight. And then finally, once you've earned your wings as a devil sticker, you'll be able to go into the air with your normal idle and seem to defy gravity with equilibristics. And that's the term for my next video, the science of devil sticking. So I hope you've used this video to help yourself learn how to become a devil sticker, and leave comments to let me help you, because I'm willing to help you in any way possible. So, this is HNW Podcast signing off, and I hope you've been able to learn a little bit about how you're going to be able to get above the ground with your devil sticks.